Good Friday morning, everybody. Thanks for being here at the First Alert Digital News Desk. We're excited. It is a big weekend here at Titletown. We've got Bo standing by right there. Hi, Bo.
Oh, we don't awfully. Actually, I think this is the first time we've been on the
Let me turn
digital
you up
news
to-
decks
oh, there you are.
together.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you? It's Friday for
good.
you.
So obviously we'll get to safety desk stories in just a little bit, but a lot of people excited for the weekend, wondering what's the weather going to be like. We've got Friday Night Lights tonight, and then a lot of people going over to Lambeau tomorrow for the concert, and then Sunday for the big game. So how are we looking?
So what we're looking is that it's going to be feeling like summer this weekend. This summer weather that's been lingering around our area, it's going to be here to stay. We're going to see temperatures be in the 80s for both Saturday and Sunday. So for your forecast today, we're going to be seeing mostly, we'll start out mostly sunny, and then we'll see partly sunny skies by the afternoon. So the clouds are going to increase throughout the day today with highs in the lower 80s. Here are your forecasted highs. We're supposed to be around 73 degrees for a high this time of year, and we'll be in the lower to mid 80s. So about 10 degrees warmer than what we should be. It will be slightly humid outside. Dew points will be in the upper 50s and lower 60s. So definitely going to feel like summer outside, and this is not expected to change for the Packers game or even tonight. We got Operation Football Nina versus Kakana this evening, and it's going to be mostly cloudy throughout the entire game, 70s and 60s. So you're not going to need to bring a jacket. You're not going to need to bring an umbrella, or not an umbrella, a blanket to stay warm. It's going to be a warm and cloudy evening, so that's going to be just fine. Here's your weekend forecast. We're going to be seeing temperatures be in the lower 80s tomorrow, mostly cloudy, and then mid 80s by Sunday. And you're seeing that right. There is a chance we could see some showers during the Packers game. So here's your Packers forecast. It's going to be mostly cloudy with some on and off showers. It's not going to rain the entire time, but a shower or two could come through during tailgating and the game. So have a rain jacket handy just in case. Temperatures will be in the 70s during tailgating, and by the time we hit kickoff, it'll be around 80 degrees. So yeah, summer is sticking around, folks, and well, at least though, it could be a lot worse for the first home game. It could be worse. We could be seeing thunderstorms and a crazy amount of weather, but that's not what we're going to be seeing. We'll be seeing partly sunny conditions with isolated showers. So it is what it is, but I do want to point out, though, that you might have to start watering your yard and your flowers and anything like that, because we're not going to see much rain after Sunday. We're going to be staying dry for a while. So I know my yard...
My garden was a little dry. It was thirsty yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say my yard is suffering. I'm sure many other people's yards are suffering. So have your sprinklers out, water your flowers, because we're not going to see much rain for the next 7 days.
All right, Bo. Well, thank you for taking the time. I'll see you here in a little bit.
Sounds good. Thanks, Aisha.
Okay, bye. Okay, so we'll get into some of those First Alert safety desk stories that have been the big talkers, at least for the work week. Take Bo down a little bit here. I do have a few that I really want to talk about, and then obviously we'll do some of those honorable mentions. But one of the bigger ones a lot of people were talking about this week was this right here, the apple juice that was recalled for excessive arsenic, and we'll talk about that because there is some natural arsenic in a lot of things, but we'll get into some of those details. And then talking about social media apps and states wanting warning labels on social media apps. Attorneys General, there's about 42 different ones, including one here, ours here in Wisconsin, who is listed in that letter. So we'll talk about that. And then instead of snacks and soda, Winnebago County vending machines offering Narcan and gun locks. We've talked about that before in Outagamie County, but this one is going to be unveiled, at least a couple, I should say, in Winnebago County next week. So we're first alerting you to that. And obviously, as always, wbay.com under the safety desk tab is where you can find all of these stories in case you want to read up on them. We try to get through a few of these pretty quickly, just so you are aware of them and you know what to look for. So we'll start with the apple juice story, which is, again, a big talker because it was sold at major stores. Right here, some of the details if you want to read along with me. And again, wbay.com under the safety desk tab, which I'll show you in a minute. But You go down there and you read that, and it talks about how the FDA is recalling several brands of apple juice, again, sold across the country, including here in Wisconsin. Major stores like Aldi, Walmart, Walgreens is where a lot of people were buying these, and this is really just out of an abundance of caution is the FDA recalling these brands. So regulators were talking about how the recall juice has a higher level of inorganic arsenic than what the government allows. And what we were talking about at the First Alert Safety Desk was how you can find inorganic arsenic in certain things. We don't want that, especially if it's at high levels. It can make you really sick. And we've got organic arsenic too. So sometimes when arsenic occurs naturally in the environment and then it combines with other materials, it can create either or. So you don't want too much exposure to inorganic arsenic. Again, we're talking about stomach issues, we're talking about intestinal issues, things like that, even skin issues, nerve issues. It could just make you sick or your kids sick, any apple juice drinkers. So just keep that in mind, and I'll show you in a second. But the Great Value Walmart brand is on there, Market Basket, Nice with the exclamation point from Walgreens. If you've seen that brand, that was listed in there, and then the Aldi brand apple juice also. But it depends, because for the Great Value juice, we're talking about best if used by date in December 2024. And so just going to show you here in a second the link so you could see where to find it. I'm going to use our browser right there. We'll go right over to the Safety Desk tab, scroll down so you know where to find it yourself in case you want to check your fridge for this and you missed the story maybe this week. But you might have seen it on social media. But just scroll down there. You saw I clicked on the story, and then there's the Refresco Beverages website. That's the company. There we go. So I went to the website and then clicked on the link for the story. And there's the list, and you can click and look around to see if it's something that you have in your fridge. Just wanting to give you all a heads up on that. Another big story this week was this social media apps story. Really interesting, obviously a big story for parents, especially if your child is on social media or has a phone. So attorneys general from 42 states, so one of ours, was listed in this letter that we were talking about. It's a signed letter to Congress. Josh Call signed it too, he's on there. So it's demanding a Surgeon General's warning on those social media apps, some of those that you're seeing right there on the screen. So we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, and others, TikTok. So the letter says the algorithm-driven social media platforms threaten the safety of young adults and feed the mental health crisis. We talk so much about mental health. In fact, we had quite a few stories this morning talking about it too. Several states, they've already taken action on this against a number of social media companies. As you know, we've reported on that, but the attorneys general say more actually needs to be done, like adding this warning label. So this actually requires congressional approval. That's why they're doing this letter. So Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, he's listed in the letter, not by signing it, but he's mentioned because he's talked so much about it. He's himself pushed for Congress to introduce different measures, wanting to slap these warning labels on different social media apps. Really important when talking about mental health for kids is something that he's really passionate about. And then it was about June or July, somewhere in there, that we talked about the Senate passing the Kids Online Safety Act, which is another big story. And that requires tech companies basically to be held accountable if somebody is hurt online. So it's protecting kids from dangerous online content. They would basically shoulder the burden when their platforms cause any harm to people. So it's just taking those actions, trying to figure out how to make social media and the online world safer for kids. So if you're interested in reading that, just go to our website under that story. It's under the Safety Desk tab, but a big story that we'll be following because it's developing, it's going to keep developing. Big conversation. And then another one too, another local story that was really great, and I mentioned it off the top, was this right here, the public health vending machines. Again, we do have a couple in Outagamie County. One of our reporters, I think it was Samantha Cavalli, she reported on that, and a couple in our area with Grand Chute fire officials partnering up with them, they know how important this is. These are life-saving vending machines, and now they're coming to Winnebago County. They're going to be unveiled a week from today, so September 20th. And so Winnebago County public health officials say these will give people more access, better access, helpful access to potentially life-saving items. You see the Narcan there, that's just one of the items. We're talking about also, female products that you might need, some basic feminine hygiene products, gun locks, fentanyl test strips, so important, but that Narcan to help save a life when somebody's going through an overdose. And we've talked about those statistics, and they're not good in our area. That's why they're pushing for this. And this was funded by a grant, so you can read a little bit more about that on our website. But of course, that mission to help combat the opioid crisis, not only in the Fox Valley, Winnebago County, but beyond. So we'll see if any more of these pop up in the area, but we will have more, I'm sure, come next week when these new ones in Winnebago County get unveiled. And by the way, you can see right there on the screen, they'll be outside. The two in Winnebago County will be outside the administration building. That's on Otter Avenue in Oshkosh. So one in Oshkosh, and then the other one in Neenah at the Human Services building on North Commercial Street. So they'll be unveiling one or two of those a week from today. So those are the three bigger stories that we were talking about this week from the First Alert Safety Desk. Really important, but I also want to go back to the website just in case there's a couple of honorable mentions. This morning, you could see right there, the Safety Desk tab in case you missed that. But this morning we were also talking about this new FDA mandate for mammograms. So women will now be notified about the density of their breasts, which can hide tumors on mammograms. We've had that conversation a lot about dense breast tissue and how cancer can hide underneath it because it actually looks like the dense breast tissue. So important. So it's just another way of hopefully catching this cancer early, breast cancer, and helping to save lives of so many people impacted by breast cancer. Really important there. And then again, I mentioned mental health, such a big topic here at Action 2 News. We've been following that and how it's impacting our community and beyond. But this new report from the CDC was talking about social and economic conditions that really play a huge role in efforts to prevent suicide. So if you want to read that, you can. We talked about Fight the Bite this week too with this warmer weather. We've had a couple of cases of West Nile virus, deadly cases here in Northeast Wisconsin. Really important to protect you and your family, the kids, from any of those infected mosquitoes. Got to keep those away. And then if you want to scroll and read any other stories that we had at the First Alert Safety Desk, lots of great stories, lots of great content. And if you all have any story ideas, I always let you know to just tell me via social media. You can email me. But those are the big ones, and we'll kick things back up on Monday morning. We like to recap things on Friday, kind of go through those bigger stories usually. So thank you for tuning in and being here. Good morning to Bill and Jody and Danny. Thanks for being there, and you can catch some more here coming up on Action 2 News mid-morning, including that forecast that we just had with Bo in case you missed that. But otherwise, have a great weekend. Go Pack Go and stay safe.